It's around about 16 past 12. It's meal one. I wanted to have 30 grams of the fruit pastels. I've already weighed it out. That's accurate. I did this when I was recording on the phone, but phone died due to low battery, so I'm just doing it again because I want to make sure that I've got my meals recorded when I do have the option to get them recorded. I've got this tablet as the backup, so yeah, I'd like to imagine that I'd eventually get a different one to film in a high quality resolution, but for now this will do, and I don't need a different one because this is fully functional. So there's that, and then there is the Chinese that I want to have. Chinese I didn't buy, but sooner or later I will just be eating food that I've either made or got from a takeaway shop myself, because I want to go out my way to eat more healthily, or so I say anyway, and I think it's unnecessarily difficult to do that with a whole lot of stuff there, none of which is mine, being in the fridge and the freezer. So I'm willing to pay more to have a mini fridge and a mini freezer. That way I'll be making it easy for myself to actually eat more healthily. So there's this amount left, and then there's the rice left. That's quite a small portion, so I think I might add some rice that's there. But I'll add the rice now. I'll add this rice now, and then the noodles, and then I will add a little bit more rice. I'll stay within 250 grams. Oh, as soon as I put it in, it turned off. No worries, I can just take all of the rice grains out and start again. That's 93 grams of rice there. Then the noodles might be around about the same amount. Yeah. $85 grams. So I think to stay within the 250 gram limit, I'll just keep it at that. I don't know how much it is overall, but it's definitely less than 250 because both are less than 100 grams. Let alone less than 125, which would make it 250, seeing as I've used two of the boxes. Alright, well that's that then. This is meal one. You got this apple here, the fruit pastels, and takeaway. At least I'd be sticking to eat more healthily, even if it's slightly, through having the apples to start with. I had yet another argument with my parents, and I could at least rely on the scale because it doesn't have to regulate emotions because it's an inanimate object, so I think it's pretty trustworthy. I have to stick to the scale, I say to myself off camera, because my weight doesn't care about feelings. It doesn't care. Very basically, it's just, I just don't think I was being listened to with things about my stuff, very basically, and I said, oh, you'd wonder why I wouldn't want to speak to you, very basically. And that actions have consequences. Obviously the sea cuts both ways. But I honestly don't mind not having all that much of a relationship with my parents. Don't like them. But at least not in this power dynamic anyway, in which I live with them and that is very relevant to stress levels and just overall health. That's very relevant. I'm starting to eat my apple, by the way. I was going through that argument as well, more irritated than I could have, as I was feeling dehydrated, as I was doing stuff. Alright then, I'm going to finish the rest of this off camera. The Chinese is done. And I'm already eating, so yeah, that's meal one. I forgot to show the sort of apple that I had, or that I'm having. Yeah. One more thing as well, related to the argument that I'll say after I get my drink. As such things like that, I could have as an excuse to stop going out my way to eat in a healthy way that helps me out. Yeah, I've got my water now, I'm ready to speak. I think, although that happened and although such things go on a fairly regular basis, I can go out my way to focus on what I can control. I can't control how they think and what they think of me or anything like that. But in order, for the sake of my own health, short and long term, to protect myself from stress-related issues, I can think about the positive or things that I think are going on in my life that I do like. And that sort of mindset, I think anyway, would help me give it my all, as I said, or as I spoke about in yesterday's exercise log, the part 2. With the, I call them GIMA initials, GIMA, that is, give it my all. I can still have an undying level of optimism, not delusion, but a supportive level of optimism. It helps me out. I can remind myself that regardless of the relationship I have with my parents, I am living in what I think is a really nice area. There's so much to do here. The community is so fit. It's so physically fit. And there's no shortage of healthy people around here. None. Yeah, you might see the unhealthy person every now and then, mentally and or physically, but that's just life. And with that in mind, I can think I don't have to worry, because I can see beyond my current situation. I can keep going down a path I want to in my life, regardless of such arguments. I still have goals to achieve. And I can achieve them. through these sorts of talks in which I have an outlet to express how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, or what I'm thinking from an emotional standpoint, what I'm thinking from an emotional standpoint, and what I'm thinking from a rational standpoint. It is okay to sometimes feel unhappy of how people might treat me. Is okay, especially when I'm feeling dehydrated and hungry. It makes sense. They're not going to know about or care about how that could affect how our relationship turns out, because I don't tell them during such arguments, oh, I'm feeling hungry, so I'm going to seem more irritable than usual. I think subconsciously I just try and make the conversation maybe as brief as possible, at least sometimes anyway. I try and say little. This time I didn't, but sometimes anyway. It genuinely would sound like a criminal and a detective in an interrogation room. Very, very hostile, especially with my dad. Maybe even up to this point, because I don't know how to fight. I feel scared of him because of that. But it's me not learning how to fight, and me thinking that way, experiencing the physiological responses of fear because of those thoughts. I can decide to not think those thoughts, and to not feel scared of him sometimes, and to not feel intimidated by him sometimes. I think that's the daddy issues talking, maybe. And in order to do that, to not feel worried or scared or intimidated by him, I think I shouldn't go out of my way to instill fear in him, or to speak to him in an angry way. Even though if I don't stay in control of my emotions, like how I say I didn't this time. Basically what I'm trying to say is I can allow myself to feel more comfortable at home. I can do that, but I'm just deciding not to, because of the lack of money to get fighting classes, and also don't necessarily give myself a window to just think. I mean, not in this constructive way anyway. To be fair, if I'm being honest, I'd really like to carry this on. This being me speaking while I'm eating. I would rather that than to be on YouTube watching videos which has a whole load of information not even using and applying to my life, and just absorbing it just for entertainment purposes. Honestly, I don't really have much of a interesting way of life at home. when I'm outside, it's amazing. At home, it's just a whole load of noise and stress. But I can get around that, and I decide not to. Do two things. One, sleep at an earlier time to avoid the noise. And two, instead of only being in my bedroom, and the argument was to do with the bedroom, I can just go into the garden and have a whole load of things planned to do over there. Allow myself to still live at home, not only live outside. Because at home, I'm just existing. I'm trying to drown out the background noise, which I find difficult to sleep because of, with more noise. But that's where sleeping before the times I'm sleeping now comes in to play. That would protect me from health issues. At least more than unhealthy nights of sleep would. By the way, I felt a bit constipated as I was eating this, as I was eating the apple in particular. I think it's the rice. One of the jalapenos actually tastes a bit spicy. Like more spicy than the rest of them. I don't know why that was, but hey. They are jalapenos after all. Need some water. Man, I'm feeling really full. I have just had about 400 grams worth of food. And that's excluding the water that I've gone and drunk, so makes sense. Probably had about maybe 200 milliliters of water, just a couple of 2 like big gulps of water basically. I'm definitely gonna have some water. Weighing out the fruit pastels has been helpful. I'm not actually wanting any anymore. I feel full. I'd say that I would want to have my final meal at maybe 5 o'clock. That's going to be in a few hours. Man, I'm going to be outside for a while though. It's just something I'm going to have to work around then. Because again, my weight, my goals don't care about things I've got to do. My body's ability to break down nutrients doesn't care that I want to go out at X time. It doesn't. It can't. It's just got a certain amount of nutrients to break down and food to break down. Generally speaking. Alright. Standing up and eating has been quite nice. I didn't do that on purpose. It's just that there's nowhere to sit down in the kitchen. I like standing up and eating anyway, because if I sit down and I have a portion similar to this size or slightly more, I might not be able to walk with a straight back. Wow, it's pretty nice looking at the fruit pastels and not feeling tempted to eat them. They're just there to me. That's pretty nice. I don't know why I'm thinking that way, but I don't mind. I'm okay with that. I had a certain amount It's probably because I've decided to exercise control over how much I eat. And if I, maybe maybe I'm onto something there. Because I've decided to exercise control on how much I eat with the fruit pastels, I'm just staring at them and I don't want them. I don't in any way feel tempted to have them. I think that's the sign of an addiction. Tempted. I don't feel tempted to eat an apple, but I like eating apples. So I wouldn't say I'm addicted to eating apples. I just like them. I just like them. I thought it sounded like I said I dislike them. No, I definitely don't dislike apples. I'm now thinking, if I keep going out my way to exercise control with the sweets I eat and keep it within, for example, 30 grams, like how I have this time, then I'll be fine. I'll be making it easier for myself to not develop an addiction with sweets, and in the long term set myself up for type 2 diabetes. I don't think I have type 1. I don't think type 1 is in the family line, but I'm not experiencing symptoms of diabetes like oh my gosh, there's something to do with the eyes, like decreased vision, for example. That's just from screens. I noticed the vision clarity increase when I wasn't on the screens as much yesterday, and it was instant, pretty much. After not being on the screens for a prolonged period of time, the difference I noticed was instant, but the actual difference probably wasn't. That took hours, I bet. Yeah, okay. I need to pack to go outside. I need to wash up and I need to pack to go outside. I need some food first of all. I think I will have, I might take the pastels with me. There's some apples. I got one apple upstairs from maybe the day before yesterday. I'll have that. Pardon me. There's some fruits, some oranges I mean. I could have that as well. Yeah. As for going out my way to eat more healthily, I had a fridge container. I could start there, a compartment in which I could put all my stuff in, just have a slight amount of stuff, and then from there sustainably keep changing my diet so it's a bit more healthy. That is a more sustainable change, and it would cost less to do that than to get a fridge, because I wouldn't be getting like a massive container or anything. Containers don't cost 100 quid, I don't think anyway, unless it's like some different material like gold or something. That's unnecessary, but I wouldn't be getting that, so that's fine. I would be getting a container for the fridge that's made of gold. That's so unnecessary. I think that's quite financially irresponsible. But then again, I could also say I'm not necessarily exempt from making financially irresponsible decisions because of how much I'm making a month. It's more than before. I at least have an income source now, but man, the income source that I've got at the moment is way less than I'd like it to be. That it's a start, but it's not gonna be enough for me to, for example, survive if I were just living by myself. I wouldn't be independent, but I'd just be depending on other people other than family, because the wage has to come from someone's pockets. My wage or wages would have to come from someone's pocket, which isn't mine. My income would be somebody else's expense. That's just how trading money works. That's just how income works. Unless I printed money, as in real money, not counterfeit. I wouldn't want to do that. Yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna stop recording now.